Hi there, YouTube. So, did you know that alcohol's effects on the body, drinking too much on a single occasion or over time, can take a serious toll on your health? The whole body is affected by alcohol use, not just the liver, but also the brain, gut, pancreas, lung, cardiovascular system, immune system, and more. Current research points to health risk even at lower amounts of alcohol consumption, regardless of beverage type. Keep reading for more information on how alcohol can affect your body. Brain and the neurological system. Alcohol interferes with the brain's communication pathways and can affect the way the brain looks and works. These disruptions can change mood and behavior and make it harder to think clearly and move with coordination. Drinking alcohol can also increase the risk of stroke. More information about alcohol's effects on the brain is available on NIAA's topic page on alcohol in the brain. Sorry, my desk is kind of dirty. In addition, its effects on the brain, alcohol also affects the peripheral nervous system, which compromises the nerves outside the brain and spinal cord. For example, alcohol misuse is linked to peripheral neuropathy. Alcohol misuse is linked to peripheral neuropathy, a condition that commonly occurs in people with severe alcohol use disorder, and can cause numbness in the arms and legs and painful burning in the feet. Alcohol-related damage to nerves may also cause heart arrhythmias, irregular heartbeat, postural or orthostatic hypertension. In addition to its effects on the brain, alcohol also affects the peripheral nervous system, which compromises the nerve. Oh, I already read that. Hold on. Okay. Heavy alcohol use. Where'd they go? Sorry. Cutting of eight. So the endocrine system. Heavy alcohol use can disturb the endocrine system, disrupting the hormones that help maintain the body's stability and health. Because these disturbances permeate every organ and tissue in the body, they can contribute to endocrine-related health conditions, including thyroid disease, dyslipidemia, abnormal cholesterol levels in the blood, reproductive dysfunction, and stress intolerance, and diabetes. There's also evidence that alcohol can disrupt or delay puberty. In patients with diabetes, I was a late bloomer, but I also was born 3.5 months premature. They had to give me like testosterone shots to push me into puberty. And I actually had puberty whenever I was like 13, 14. In patients with diabetes, any alcohol intake may reduce their ability to control blood glucose levels adequately and contribute to the diabetes-associated cardiovascular and neurological complications. Furthermore, heavy drinking may increase the risk for developing type 2 diabetes due to increased body weight, blood triglyceride levels or blood pressure, and decreased insulin sensitivity, for example, gastro systems and oral cavity. Drinking alcohol can contribute to a leaky gut, allowing the intestines to permit substances like toxins into the body, which can change the composition of the microbiota or microorganisms living in the gastrointestinal tract, and increase the risk of colorectal cancer. Alcohol can damage the epithelial lining of the GI tract, promote inflammation within and beyond the GI system, and cause GI bleeding. Alcohol is also associated with an increased risk of gastroesophageal reflux disease, and drinking is associated with an increased risk of esophageal cancer or oral cavity cancer. So then we're on to the heart and circulatory system. Alcohol misuse can damage the heart. Research has demonstrated that long-term heavy drinking weakens the heart muscle, causing cardiomyopathy. Alcohol misuse can also lead to high blood pressure, an irregular heartbeat, or increased heart rate. Chronic heavy drinking raises the risk for ischemic heart disease and myocardial infraction, heart attack. Even low drinking levels may confer risks. Heavy alcohol use can cause deficiencies in specific components of the blood, including anemia, low red blood cell levels, leukopenia, low white blood cell levels, thrombocytopenia, low platelet levels, I did not say that right, and macrocytosis, enlarged red blood cells. And I just went to the ER like 2 or 3 days ago because of my because of my pneumonia, ammonia, because of my pneumonia, because of my pneumonia. See, it affects your communication skills. My pneumonia, and they said that all my levels were fine, but because I have emphysema, it's going to take me like 2 to 3 months to really get back to normal. Which, damn. Alcohol can affect behaviors that increase the likelihood of acquiring or transmitting HIV to others. Wow. Alcohol may also speed HIV progression in people living with the disease, influencing their engagement and retention in HIV treatment, and increase their susceptibility to organ damage and co-infections of the liver. It says that heavy drinking takes a toll on the liver and can lead to a variety of problems in liver inflammation, including alcohol-associated steatosis, alcohol-associated steatohepatitis, alcohol-associated hepatitis, alcohol-associated fibrosis, alcohol-associated chronorosis, and hepatocellular carcinoma. Lungs. Alcohol misuse is associated with an increased risk of acute respiratory distress syndrome, bacterial pneumonia, and respiratory syncytial virus infection. People who drink often are more liable to contract diseases like pneumonia and tuberculosis than people who do not drink as much. And honestly, like, I started drinking, and that lowers my inhibition. And because my inhibition was lowered, I thought it was a good idea to go do cocaine or methamphetamine, because I have an addiction to Adderall. And if you don't identify with those things, then it's a lot easier to get over them. But feelings persist even after you quit. And so, like, you have to get over your feelings or the way that you feel about things. Because in reality, all your feelings or the way that you feel about stuff, it's not the truth. Learn the truth, and then you know it's real. Musculoskeletal system. Drinking increases the risk of myopathy or muscle wasting. Heavy alcohol use raises the risk for fractures or even low levels of alcohol intake increase odds for recurring gout attacks. Alcohol also impairs bone fracture repair and reduces bone density, which makes sense because my mom was honestly like a really big alcoholic. She's getting better now, but like if you just like grip her arm or like touch her or like push her or anything, she breaks. She like literally just like falls apart. And like that's one of the bad things about drinking, is that it literally just destroys your body for no reason, just to chase a feeling. But the pancreas. The pancreas is an organ that makes substances that support bodily functions, including digestion and metabolism. Alcohol misuse over time can lead to pancreatitis, which can impair the production of digestive enzymes and can affect hormones that regulate blood sugar levels. Pancreatitis is a dangerous inflammation in the pancreas that causes it to swell and become painful. The pain from pancreatitis may spread. Pancreatitis can occur as a sudden attack, called acute pancreatitis. Acute pancreatitis can turn into chronic pancreatitis, which is a condition of constant inflammation of the pancreas. Chronic pancreatitis is a risk factor for the development of pancreatic cancer and diabetes. Sorry. I need to like clear my lungs. So cancer.
You're not going to pizza?
No, I'm reading.
You can also, huh?
No, I'm reading. Cancer, according to the National Cancer Institute,
Also,
there is a
I
strong...
also bought more lunch meat stuff with some
I saw
lettuce.
that, and I put it in the fridge for you. There's a strong scientific consensus that alcohol drinking can cause several types of cancer. In its report on carcinogens, the National Toxicity Program of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services lists consumption of alcohol beverages known as human carcinogen. The evidence indicates that the more alcohol a person drinks, particularly the more alcohol a person drinks regularly over time, the higher his or her risk of developing an alcohol-associated cancer. Sorry. Even those who have no more than one drink per day, and people who binge drink, those who consume 4 or more drinks for women and 5 or more drinks for men in one sitting, have a modestly increased risk of some cancers. God protect my soul. Clear patterns rather protect my body. You always protect my soul. Thank you, Lord. Clear patterns have emerged between alcohol consumption and increased risk of certain types of cancer. Head and neck cancer, including oral cavity, pharynx, and larynx cancers. Esophageal cancer, particularly esophageal squamous cell carcinoma. In addition, people who inherit a deficiency in an enzyme that metabolizes alcohol have been found to have substantially increased risk of esophageal squamous cell carcinoma if they consume alcohol. Liver cancer, breast cancer, colorectal cancer. And this is why you shouldn't drink. Or drink if you want to. And just know the risks. That's why I wanted to read this. And thank you for joining for me reading this. Goodbye. Because honestly, like, if you know about the risks and the things that substance causes to you, then you have more knowledge and a basis on what the right action is to take. And honestly, just think about the consequences. Think about what it really means to destroy your body and leave everything behind. Because honestly, life isn't always bad. It's really not always bad. And the more that you take time and let it become better, the more that it shows you that life is a blessing and God is love and the world is great. And like, it's such a wild trip, honestly. The world, life, everything, it is a trip. And that is my truth. I love you. Have a good night.